We are here today with Miss Katella Stegmann, author of a fantastic, if I may say so myself, series. It's very popular.
Thank you.
Tell us a little about yourself and the books you've written so far.
Well, I'm Katella Stegmann. That's actually my artist name. My first name's Lindsay, but I go by Katella when I'm writing, and there's a story behind that. The reason I do that is because that was my grandfather's middle name, and I wanted him to see his mother's name in print before he passed, which he did. His mother died at a very young, when he was a very young age, so it was really kind of about letting him see that. And as far as myself, I've been writing since before I can even remember. I picked up probably a blue crayon when I was in kindergarten and started drawing together ideas, and came up with some really, really interesting stories throughout the years. I came up with the Barking Mad Tale of a Teenage Werewolf series. There's 4 books in the series. There's An American Werewolf in Idaho, A Tale of Two Shih Tzus, The Labrador of the Rings, and The War of the Werewolves. And I came up with that when I was about 16. I should have been paying attention in school, but I was not, because I was one of those kids that was always in trouble. So I was always writing and doing things to the side when I was in class. And I didn't get the gall to publish until I was about 16 and 26, sorry, 10 years later. So I published, just kind of got the gall to do that, and basically the series is about a young teenager who discovers she belongs to a world of werewolves, and she's been called to save the world, basically. And there's a little bit of love and romance. There's a little bit of everything in the series.
So what works influenced your work as a writer?
Oh my God. There are so many influences that I have. I've got Joss Whedon, who did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Avengers, Angel. He was a big influence on me when I was growing up. And Bill Lawrence, who did Scrubs. He also does Cougar Town, which is, unless you're an old lady like me, you're probably not watching it, but it's a fantastic series. I highly recommend it. I also have to credit Christopher Titus, who is a brilliant comedian. He basically pushed me to the forefront when I was watching his stuff, to know that it's okay to be a little bit wonky, a little bit screwy, and that nobody's life is perfect. So those were my influences, and my family and my friends. In the book, there's a character by the name of Laura, who is one of my friends and one of my coworkers, and she also helped me edit the series, and she's also in there as well.
So what was the process like when you were writing the first book in the series, and how did the process change when you wrote the follow-up books?
I actually wrote the whole series all together. It was an idea that came into my head. I knew where I was going. I knew what the end was going to be. But that was so long ago. It was 12 years ago when I actually wrote the series. The process was me just being a teenager trying to stay out of trouble. So I wrote the series as a positive outlet in my life, and I don't know that anything changed. Maybe it got a little bit more serious towards the end, because you're watching these kids kind of grow up as you read. So that's kind of where the process is going throughout the years.
And tell us about your writing technique. When you write these stories, do you map things out in advance and then write, or you just kind of start flowing with dialogue from there?
It's a little both, actually. It's a mixture of both. I just come up with things on the fly. I'm writing all the time. I'll be writing in the car. Something will come to my mind, and I'll record it on my phone for later so I can remember to write that in there. There's really no right or wrong way to write, and my process changes all the time.
So what was the publishing process like for the series?
Originally, I was going to go through a big publishing company, big publishing house, get an agent, that kind of thing, but I actually looked more and more into doing private publishing, just doing like Amazon.com, self-publishing. The only downside to self-publishing is you're pretty much the own superhero doing everything. Mm-hmm. So you have to do the editing, you have to do of course you do the writing because it's your books. You have to do all kinds of research. You have to do a lot more with self-publishing, but I wanted to do it because you have more creative control over the book.
As the series progressed, did you find yourself making any major changes to the story that perhaps you did not originally plan on?
Not that I can think of. I think I had an idea in mind, and I didn't really change much of it. Nothing that would have changed the major story plot lines. Everything kind of tied in the way I wanted it to.
So what should all first-time writers know about the publishing process, and specifically marketing their works?
Don't give up. That's really what I have to say is just keep pushing forward. Even if you can't get a publisher to recognize your work, self-publish, and the publishing process itself, it's tedious. Edit till you're tired of editing and you never want to edit again, till you never want to see your writing again. Just keep editing. That's all I can say is reread. Really think about what you're putting into writing, and never give up. That's what I can say about that.
And do you have any strategies for publicity that you'd recommend for young authors?
Let's see. You can be very, very be active in the process of your fans. If you have great fans, hello fans that I love. Be active, answer their questions. If they have criticism, listen to them, and you can always take something away from what they have to offer you. If you build your fan base and you're just really open, and I'm an open book. If my fans want to ask me anything, they can ask me anything. I have no qualms about answering questions. Just be that person.
And how do people react when they find out you've written not just a book but an entire series?
I don't really, it differs from person to person. I have a lot of my friends are just fascinated by the fact that I've done this, and they are very proud. And it's something that's really hard for me to talk about because it's weird that I've got 4 published books and a 5th one on the way actually out there, and I don't know. That's a really good question. So I don't know if I really have the right answer for that.
So what all have you learned about yourself while writing the series?
I've learned a lot about myself. I pour my heart and my soul into my writing, so when I put something on paper, or if I go back and I look at stuff that I wrote when I was younger versus who I am now, it's an amazing journey that I've been on. It's incredible, and I look forward to what I've got going next,
And what do you have coming up next?
I've actually got, there's a tie-in to the Barking Mad series. It's a prequel, basically. It's Kat and Rob's story, and it's a lot darker than the Barking Mad series. It's got a lot more drama, and it's just, I fear about publishing it a little bit because I have a lot of younger readers and I don't want to screw them up. And it's probably one of the darker things I've written.
So what has the feedback been from your fans and perhaps critics?
Fairly positive. I am blessed to have wonderful fans. I've got friends and family, and they've been very supportive. I've had a couple of naysayers and a couple of people who don't like my writing, and that's absolutely fine. Reading is subjective, so if you don't like my stuff, that's cool. There's stuff out there that I don't like. There's stuff out there that I love. So it's just all about, it's been very positive for the most part.
So outside of the Barking Mad universe, what do you have coming up?
Oh, I still have an espionage thriller that I'm working on. I've got an uplifting story that I'm working on. I'm always writing and coming up with ideas. It's endless possibilities with me.
And my last question for you is, what is your ultimate advice for all the young independent authors out there?
Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody tell you can't do something. Always stick true to who you are in your writing, and enjoy it. Just enjoy it.